This is lecture one, Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics, or rather, it is part one of a number of presentations that we will do on this text. And in this presentation, we're going to discuss three notions. We're going to discuss the notion of the good, the notion of purpose, and notion of end. Well, there will be some other things we'll discuss as well, but these are the main ones to watch out for. The good, purpose, and end. And as it turns out, they all mean the same thing for the purposes of this discussion. The guiding question of the whole presentation is the question of what is the good, which is a question you would expect in a book on ethics. All right, so let's go into it. Aristotle reminds us that everything we do, every choice we make, is for some purpose. We do not simply make choices without a purpose. Those would then not be choices. They would be mere reactions. Whenever we choose to do something, whenever we choose to go somewhere or be with someone, it is always for some purpose. Aristotle's second point is that when we achieve the purpose for the sake of which we chose some action, then we would say that that action is good. From that, we get a useful definition of what we mean by the term and the concept of the good. The good of any of our activities is the purpose they aim to achieve. Thus, a good is a purpose of some and any of our actions. That's what we mean by the good. Purpose with which we do anything. For the sake of which we do anything. When we act and choose, it is always in pursuit of some good. It is also to say that the good is an end. It is an end in the sense of the concept of means and ends. For example, unlocking a door is usually a means to the end of walking through that door. Or, for another example, we eat food as a means to the end of satisfying hunger or satisfying pleasure. Thus, Aristotle claims that every choice and every activity that we undertake is a means to some kind of an end, purpose, or good. And those choices and activities are good when they achieve their end, purpose, or good. Notice that end here does not mean end in the sense of consequences, but rather in the sense of purpose. So the difference between consequences and purpose. The consequence of our actions and activities is that we die. But that is not the purpose of our choices and activities. Death is not the sort of a thing that makes our choices and activities good. Also notice that Aristotle is claiming that no one chooses or acts for achieving something bad, but only achieving something good. But do persons not make bad choices that result in bad consequences all the time? Yes, Aristotle would say, but even in those cases, ultimately, persons aim to achieve something good. But through ignorance or for another reason, they are mistaken in thinking that what they chose actually is good. For example, a bank robber aims to achieve the good by their actions, but through ignorance or for some other reason, the bank robber is mistaken, thinking that the life of a bank robber is a good life. We do not choose to be bank robbers because we know correctly that that is not a good life. Due to the risk of going to jail, living one's life constantly looking over one's shoulder, not producing anything of use to anyone, and so on. And so here we just introduced and discussed the notion of the good, which turns out to be the purpose that we seek by all our actions.